You see this worm? Well, this worm is going to meet an ill fate by one of the sneakiest tropical fish on the planet. Just kidding, but this story is about how this Bumble Bee Goby got a super dope new home in an epic jar aquarium that I built. I see potential in everything, including this cookie jar, this oversized cookie jar that I transformed for this Bumble Bee Goby, but there's more to this story. A yoink. This wasn't always a happy story. You see, I had to separate this Bumble Bee Goby from his group of fish, his other tank mates. He's getting bullied, and I had to do something. I had to intervene. You see, I wanted this guy to live. Now with fish, you have to act quickly. After a few days, he was feeling better. He was already eating his white worms, and he was loving his new environment. But this was just a short-term home for a full-time epic solution. See, I have a soft spot for this little guy, and I wanted him to flourish. So you know what? I decided to build him an amazing new home. I'm MAXtheGROT. Sometimes I get my most creative ideas after a beverage or two. Go figure, right? And these animals inspire me. So I got this oversized jar and I thought I'd turn it into something pretty fucking fantastic. I was looking for construction materials for this jar aquarium and I came across this pretty big spider. A big thing for me was I wanted to make this jar aquarium basically for free with stuff I had around the house. This is a technique I like to call free substrate. And you know what the end result is? Something you'd pay mega bucks for. This shit was free. Unbelievable. Look at this result.
Yeah, boy. Look at that. That's dope.
What's that saying? A clean workspace is a good workspace. But anyway.
Yeah, boy. Rocks, and rocks. I'll need these suckers.
Now the good thing about this hobby is that you're always going to have rocks around. Rocks after rocks. Always keep your rocks. Now I gave them a good rinse out and I started soaking leaves. Now the fun part. Although the most complicated part, now it's time to build the actual aquarium itself. Now I'm going to start with the substrate layer. See those rocks that I was breaking up earlier? Well, this is it. This is it, looking as a lush bottom layer. Now what did I want to replicate here? I wanted to replicate a river, essentially a slow moving river with a fast flow at the top and a calm layer bottom with leaves, with rocks, something that the Bumble Bee Goby might encounter in Southeast Asia where it naturally comes from. I wanted the rocks to go to the top to basically look like you're actually looking at the side of a riverbank, essentially. Now there are certain elements that just make an aquarium pop, as in look more natural and more wild, and that is branches as well as leaves. Now everything that I put in here, well, I put everything in here for a reason. I wanted to replicate a wild environment, and B, I wanted to make sure that the fish actually enjoy the environment and it makes them feel comfortable and safe. Lots of hiding places, lots of nooks and crannies. This process here is the cotton bud process. You're going to ram these in between the rocks. Now, do you know why I'm doing this? Well, I'm going to answer that for you. You'll see a lot of people do this. You're going to put these cotton buds in between the stones. If you make like a tower and you don't want anything to move, it was a very tedious process, as you can see by my expressions. And then you're going to super glue them. Now make sure you get a waterproof super glue. It's going to keep everything nice and close and firm together, rock solid. So when you can move things, or if there's any movement or the table shakes, none of the rocks are going to collapse and crush the fish. You see that there? It looks dirty, but it's probably the right amount of silt because that will all settle and that will just become more substrate at the bottom and just end up being a good place for good bacteria. Now I'm going to fill this sucker up. This was also the enjoyable process. I'm not going to lie, there's something so fucking therapeutic about water flowing. So I filled it up. Now I just need to let it settle. Once it's settled, I put the little pump in. This is just a little pump that I got off Amazon, link below if you're interested. But these pumps are super versatile. They're fantastic for small aquariums, small spaces. They do their job and they actually have a really good flow. I added the leaves, very important. Now the fun part, the really fun part, what you're here for. Who are the inhabitants? Firstly, I'm going to put this little hillstream loacher. Now he did not want to let go of the spoon, but he got there eventually. Hillstream loachers love fast flowing water and they come from the same part of the world as the Bumble Bee Goby. So I think a very, very popular and great introduction. A ramshorn snail, he's going to enjoy life. Now this thing has leaves, it has rocks, it has branches. It has hiding places, it has nooks and crannies, it has indoor plant growing from the top. This is all about the Bumble Bee Goby. there he is. He's got a snail and a hillstream loach. But there's more. It wouldn't be a completed river aquarium without some more fish. So I went to my favorite place, the tropical fish store. I'm not gonna lie, I love their stupid looks on all their faces, they're so cute. But I came away with some of these suckers, some white cloud mountain minnows. These are some of the most underrated fish in my opinion. They are stunning, they are fast, and they are perfect tank mates for aggressive fish because themselves they are not aggressive. So I plopped those sucker in after a very good acclimation period, and these guys were going straight into the flow and they were loving it. Look at them. So the white cloud mountain minnow, well, the white cloud mountain is an actual place in China, and apparently these fish are super endangered in their natural environment and they're basically bred in captivity, so all the more to keep them in captivity. Now they do like to be in schools, so 4 to 5, I've got 4, and look, they're doing well. Now it's feeding time. I'm going to give them some of these Tetra Tropical Color Flakes, linked below, but this is apparently one of the best tropical fish food you can give to Tetra fish. It just makes their colors pop. Super well reputable brand, and I'm not lying, they loved it. They were picking at it, they were swimming around, they were hunting it. To be fair, I was just stoked that they hadn't died in the first day and that they were swimming around looking all healthy and eating their food. And I also gave them some blackworms, but the blackworms are more for the Bumble Bee Goby. Bumble Bee Gobies love live food. They prefer live food over frozen food. They don't really eat Tetra Flakes, obviously, but Bumble Bee Goby is now officially my favorite tropical fish. I think they have so much personality, and being a miniature goby, I think they're super dope, they're super cool to watch, and they are really exciting eaters. Now it's been a couple of days since I first introduced all the fish, so it's time to do the first ever water change. Yuck! So fresh and so clean, fresh water, about 10 to 20% today. Adding some fresh water, give them a new lease on life, and more food and more food. Obviously I want to keep these fish nice and plump, nice and healthy, and nice and colourful. Another thing about white cloud mountain minnows, or actually any tetra fish that do better in groups, you actually want to keep them in groups, because if they keep them on their own, they do lose their colour. Apparently they get all depressed and dull, and sounds like they should be living in society, in the rat race with a full-time job, paying tax. But anyway, it's been almost a week, and everyone's doing super awesome. The hillstream roach is loving life. He's loving all the rocks that he can suck on and cling to, and basically look pretty stupid but awesome at the same time. The ramshorn snail is doing well. He's got no other snails to compete with. I'm growing an indoor plant outside the top. Now that's going to absorb all the nitrates out of the water, and it's actually going to help with keeping the tank clean. Now I got that technique from other fish keepers around the world. They actually grow indoor plants out of the top, and I think that's fucking dope. So how do you like it? I'm pretty fucking chuffed with it. I think it looks dope. I'm MAXtheGROT, and I live at the bottom of the world, and we have some fantastic beasts, and I just might keep some of them. So stay tuned, and if you like this one, that's dope.